Hey everyone, I'm David.
And I'm Anna. Welcome back to Learning English Together.
Today we are practicing a topic that many learners care about, but do not always know how to say in English.
We're talking about first date small talk.
More specifically, we are focusing on what to say when you meet someone for the first time in a casual coffee shop setting.
We will keep the English natural, polite, and easy to use.
You do not need fancy lines.
You just need calm, friendly conversation that helps both people feel comfortable.
A lot of people think first date English is about sounding impressive.
But usually, the real challenge is much simpler.
How do you start the conversation without sounding awkward?
How do you keep it going after the first hello?
And how do you ask questions without making it feel like an interview?
That is what this lesson is for.
Today you will learn a real first date conversation, useful small talk phrases, and a shadowing practice you can repeat.
If your mind ever goes blank on a first date, this lesson will help a lot.
Hey Anna, it's nice to finally meet you in person.
Hi, David. Yes, it's really nice to meet you too.
Thanks for coming.
Of course. I was looking forward to it.
Me too. Did you find a cafe okay?
Yes, pretty easily actually. The station is close, so it wasn't hard.
That's good. I got here a little early, so I grabbed us a table by the window.
Good choice. It's really cozy here.
Yeah, I like this place. They make good coffee, and it's usually not too loud.
That already makes first dates easier.
Exactly. So, how's your day been so far?
Pretty good. Work was a little busy this morning, but things got better in the afternoon.
That sounds familiar. Was it one of those days where every email felt urgent?
Yes, exactly. That is a perfect description.
I know the feeling. At least now you can relax a little.
Definitely. What about you? How was your day?
Not bad. I had a few meetings, then I spent the rest of the afternoon trying to finish one task before I came here.
Did you finish it?
More or less. Good enough for today.
Honestly, that is sometimes the best result.
I agree. So, have you been to this cafe before?
No, this is my first time here.
Then we can both pretend I made a very impressive choice.
I was just about to say that.
Great. I will accept full credit.
Fair enough.
So what do you usually do after work when you want to unwind?
It depends on my energy level. If I'm tired, I stay home and watch something light. If I still have energy, I like going for a walk or meeting friends.
That sounds like a healthy balance.
I try. What about you?
I usually listen to music, cook something simple, or go to the gym if I need to clear my head.
Are you actually one of those people who enjoys the gym?
Enjoy is a strong word. Let's say I appreciate how I feel after it.
That sounds more honest.
What kind of music do you listen to?
A mix, really. I like indie pop, acoustic music, and sometimes old jazz if I'm in a quiet mood.
That is a good range.
What about you?
Mostly pop, some R&B, and a little classic rock.
So if we ever take a road trip, the playlist negotiation could get interesting.
True, but I think we can make it work.
That is a very diplomatic answer.
I'm trying my best.
I noticed.
So, what do you enjoy talking about on a first date?
That is a good question. I like talking about things that show personality, not just job titles and schedules.
I feel the same way.
I mean, work is fine, but after 5 minutes, I want to know what someone is actually like.
Yes, like what makes them laugh, what they get excited about, what kind of weekends they enjoy.
Exactly.
Okay, then let's do that properly. What is something you always enjoy, no matter how stressful the week has been?
Fresh bread and a slow morning.
That is a strong answer.
Thank you.
It sounds peaceful and very specific.
What about you?
A long walk with good weather and no rush.
Also a strong answer.
Good. We're doing well.
I think so.
Do you like meeting new people, or does it take you time to warm up?
I think I seem relaxed, but I usually need a little time.
Same here.
Really? You seem pretty comfortable.
I can talk, but that does not always mean I am relaxed.
That makes sense.
Sometimes I'm just using words to buy time.
That is actually very relatable.
Good. Then I don't need to pretend to be naturally smooth.
Please don't. Honest is better.
Deal.
Can I ask you something?
Of course.
What made you want to meet in person instead of just texting forever?
Honestly, texting is okay, but I think real conversation tells you much more.
I agree.
You can tell if the energy feels easy or forced.
Yes, and it is easier to notice humor in person.
Exactly. Jokes are risky in text.
Very risky.
So far, though, I think the in-person version is working better.
I think so too.
Good. I was hoping you would say that.
What is one thing people usually get wrong about you when they first meet you?
People sometimes think I'm more serious than I really am.
I can see that a little.
But only a little?
Yes.
You seem calm, but not cold.
I will take that.
What about me?
I think some people might assume you're very composed all the time.
That is funny because internally I am often improvising.
Honestly, same.
That's reassuring.
By the way, are you more of a planner, or do you like spontaneous plans?
A bit of both. I like having a basic plan, but I don't want every minute decided in advance.
That sounds ideal.
What about you?
Similar. I like structure, but I also like leaving room for good surprises.
That is a good phrase. Good surprises.
Thanks. I prepared it at least 3 minutes ago.
Very impressive.
I'm glad you noticed.
So, what would your perfect weekend look like?
One day outside, one day slow. Maybe coffee, a bookstore, dinner with friends, and enough time to do absolutely nothing.
That sounds excellent.
What about yours?
Brunch, a walk somewhere beautiful, maybe a museum or a small market, then a quiet evening.
That sounds both relaxed and interesting.
That is the goal.
I like how easy this conversation feels.
Me too.
I was a little nervous at first.
Really?
You hit it well.
Thank you. I had support from caffeine and hope.
A powerful combination.
Definitely.
I was a little nervous too, actually.
That makes me feel better.
Good.
So, if this date ends with both of us feeling more relaxed than when it started, I think that counts as a success.
I agree.
Should we order another coffee?
Yes, I think I'd like that.
Great. I'll go with the same thing. Do you want anything else?
Maybe a small cake to share?
That sounds like an excellent decision.
See?
This is already a very productive date. Let's go over the most useful phrases from this first date conversation.
These phrases are not dramatic.
They're just natural, warm, and easy to use.
That is exactly what makes them useful.
Phrase 1 is, "It's nice to finally meet you in person."
This is a great first date opening line.
It sounds friendly and natural.
It also shows that you are happy to be there.
You can use it after texting, talking online, or even after a phone call.
Notice the word finally.
It gives the sentence a warm feeling, like you have been looking forward to the meeting.
You can also say, it's so nice to meet you in person.
Or, "It's great to finally meet you."
All three versions work well.
Phrase 2 is, "How has your day been so far?"
This is one of the best small talk questions in English.
It is easy, natural, and not too personal.
It helps the other person start talking comfortably.
Also, it gives them a simple topic to begin with.
They can talk about work, class, traffic, weather, or mood.
If you want a shorter version, you can ask, "How's your day been?"
Or, how has your day been?
Another useful related question is, "How was your day?"
But, so far, makes it sound more present and conversational.
Phrase 3 is, "What about you?"
This phrase is small, but it is extremely important.
It keeps the conversation balanced.
If someone answers your question, you can respond and then say, what about you?
That shows interest and politeness.
It also stops the conversation from feeling one-sided.
For example, "I like walking after work. What about you?"
Or, I usually listen to music. What about you?
This phrase is one of the easiest ways to sound natural in English conversation. Phrase 4 is, "What do you usually do when you want to unwind?"
I like this question because it goes beyond surface-level information.
Yes.
It tells you about someone's habits and personality.
Unwind means relax after stress or work.
If the word feels new, don't worry.
You can replace it with simpler English.
For example, "What do you usually do to relax?"
That means almost the same thing.
Questions like this are useful on a first date because they invite real conversation.
They are more interesting than only asking, what do you do?
Phrase 5 is, "I like how easy this conversation feels."
This is a really good phrase for a date.
It is honest, positive, and not too intense.
It tells the other person that you feel comfortable with them.
It also helps the conversation become even more relaxed.
You are not saying something too dramatic.
You're just noticing a good moment.
That makes it feel sincere.
A softer version is, "This conversation feels really easy."
Or, I like talking with you.
These phrases are simple, but they can create warmth quickly. Now, let's look at a few smaller expressions from the dialogue.
Did you find the cafe okay?
This is a polite first question when you meet somewhere.
It shows care without being too serious.
Another useful one is, "I was looking forward to it."
That is a warm response if the other person says, thanks for coming.
It sounds natural and positive.
We also used, that sounds familiar.
This is a friendly reaction when you relate to what the other person said.
It shows connection.
Another very natural phrase is, "That makes sense."
You can use it all the time.
It means you understand and agree with the logic of what someone said.
Here is a useful first date tip in English.
Ask questions that are open, but not too heavy.
Good first date questions often start with,
What do you usually?
how do you usually?
What kind of do you like?
What is something you always enjoy?
These questions invite conversation.
They do not feel like an interview.
Compare that with too many short factual questions.
Where are you from?
What do you do?
How old are you?
Do you live alone?
If you ask too many direct factual questions one after another, the conversation can feel stiff.
But if you mix in feeling, preference, and experience questions, it becomes easier and warmer.
Let's practice transforming questions.
Basic question. What do you do?
Better first date question. What kind of work do you enjoy most?
Basic question. What do you do on weekends?
Better first date question. What does your ideal weekend look like?
Basic question. Do you like music?
Better first date question. What kind of music do you listen to when you want to relax?
You see the difference.
The second version invites a fuller answer.
Another good dating conversation habit is echoing.
Echoing means using part of the other person's answer in your response.
For example, if they say, I like museums, you can say, museums? What kind?
Or if they say, I like slow mornings, you can say a slow morning sounds amazing.
Echoing makes the conversation feel attentive.
It shows that you are listening, not just waiting for your turn to talk.
One more important point.
On a first date, simple positive reactions help a lot.
Things like,
That sounds fun.
that's a good answer.
I like that.
That sounds familiar.
That makes sense.
These short reactions make the conversation feel smoother.
They're easy to learn, but they make a big difference.
Now it's your turn. Listen and repeat.
Try to sound calm, friendly, and relaxed.
Imagine you are meeting someone at a cafe for the first time.
Ready? Let's start.
It's nice to finally meet you in person.
It's really nice to meet you too.
How has your day been so far?
Pretty good, actually.
Did you find the cafe okay?
Yes, pretty easily.
What do you usually do when you want to unwind?
I usually listen to music or go for a walk.
What kind of music do you listen to?
Mostly pop and a little R&B.
What about you?
I like indie pop and acoustic music.
I like how easy this conversation feels.
Me too.
I was a little nervous at first.
Honestly, me too.
Should we order another coffee?
Yes, I'd like that.
Great job. Let's do a quicker round.
Nice to meet you in person.
How has your day been?
What do you do to relax?
What about you?
I like talking with you. Today we practiced useful English for first date small talk.
The key phrases were, it's nice to finally meet you in person. How has your day been so far? What about you? What do you usually do when you want to unwind? And I like how easy this conversation feels.
These phrases help you sound warm, natural, and relaxed.
They also help you avoid awkward silence.
Here is your practice task.
First, choose two opening questions from this lesson.
Second, answer them out loud in your own words.
Third, practice one positive reaction like, that sounds fun, or that makes sense.
If you can do that smoothly, your first date English will already feel much stronger.
And remember, good conversation is not about perfect grammar.
It is about listening, responding, and staying curious.
That is what makes small talk feel real.
Thanks for practicing with us today.
See you in the next lesson.
Take care.
Bye.